My name is Jason Welliver. I'm here to teach you guys about white-tailed deer hunting in Ohio. First of all, I'd like to give you guys a couple ideas on how do you hunt white-tailed deer. The first way is with archery. There's a crossbow, a compound bow, a long bow, and a recurve bow. Crossbow, personally, is the easiest way to hunt for white-tailed deer. Compound bows, long bows, and recurve bows actually take some skill to learn how to use. A second way to hunt these deer will be to use a shotgun. And there's a couple basic ways, a couple basic guns to use. There's a semi-automatic shotgun, a pump shotgun, and a bolt-action shotgun. Third, there's a season for muzzleloader. Muzzleloader is it's kind of difficult because you only get one shot, and then it takes a couple minutes to actually reload the shotgun or the muzzleloader, which gives you a hard time. Secondly, I'd like to talk about how do you find a place to hunt white-tailed deer. The first thing you want to do is find a property that has a good amount of wooded area. Once you find a property that has a good amount of wooded area, look for deer sign. Deer sign is deer follow distinct trails. They make trails throughout the woods that they follow to their feeding, their water, where they breed at, where they bed at. There's a couple different things. What deer like to eat? They eat acorns. They'll eat corn, apples, berries. Anything basically that they can find in the woods, they'll eat. Once you find a good spot to hunt these deer, you can either hunt off of the ground or you can hunt out of a tree stand. And you can find a tree stand at any of your sporting goods stores. You can get them at Walmart, Intermountain, any of those things. Once you find these deer and you find a good spot to hunt, there's a couple ways to find the deer. You could use calls to attract the deer. A grunt call is it's a buck. It makes the sound of a white-tailed buck. And when you use a grunt call, it's the sound of another white-tailed buck. That when they find another doe, they make this grunt call, and it means that they found another doe that they can mate with, and it brings the other bucks in because they think that there's another doe that they could possibly steal from that buck to mate with. A bleat call is actually the sound of a doe, and it is the sound that they make when they're in heat and they're ready to breed with another buck. And when the bucks hear that sound, it'll bring them in and they'll be ready to find that doe to breed with her. Thirdly, with using calls, rattling antlers, it makes the sound of two bucks fighting. And when another buck hears two bucks fighting, it makes them think that they have found another doe that they're fighting over, which is ready to breed. And they can go in and find that doe and breed with her because these other two bucks are fighting over it. Another way to bring in the deer is to use scents. Using doe urine will attract the bucks and make them think that the doe is ready to breed. The doe urine is actually a scent that is their menstruation from their breeding cycle, and when this happens, it means that they're ready to breed. Secondly, with the scents, using buck urine, bucks actually mark their territory when they urinate on the ground, and they'll mark this territory when they find does in a certain area, and it'll bring other bucks in because they know that those does are ready to breed. Thirdly, with the scents, you can use scents that actually are the scents of the things that the deer eat. Like I said before, the deer like to eat apples, they like to eat berries, they like to eat acorns, corn. They make other things like peanut butter. A lot of people say that deer like to eat like peanut butter things. There's also rules applied to deer hunting. Deer hunting, you're limited to 3 shots with a shotgun. They actually put it's called a choke. It limits you to 3 shots with your shotgun. You can only put 3 shells in. Legal hunting hours for deer, it's a half hour before sunrise and a half hour after sunset. And any time in between. Any time after that would be considered poaching, which would give you a huge fine. You would lose your hunting license. You lose your permits. There are also designated seasons for each one of the weapons, which I told you before in the first slide, which are shotguns, archery, and muzzleloader. Shotgun actually has a season that's only a week long. Archery consists of most of the season, usually lasts till sometime in mid-February. Muzzleloader is a very, very short season. It's only usually 2 to 3 days long. When you're hunting these deer, you are required to have a hunting license. It shows that you took a class, that shows that you're ready to use a weapon in the field. A deer permit is also, it's your license. It's not your license, but it shows that, that you can take a deer legally, and you can't be penalized for that. Limits on hunting deer per season. The amount of deer that you can take in a season depends on which county you live in. There's three different limits. There's counties where you can only take 2 deer. There's counties where you can take 3 deer, and there's counties where you can take 4 deer. So if you know these counties, which is in your rule book, which is on the ODNR website, you're able to take 9 deer total. But no matter what, if you hunt in these in these different counties, you're only allowed 1 buck no matter what. You can only purchase 1 deer permit at a time, which is, I think it's $24 to be exact. You only harvest 1 deer at a time, no matter what you're doing. If you shoot two deer at one time, it'd be considered poaching. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you.